Back at the venue in Lakeland. Today we're here with Akeldama. How are you guys doing?
Good.
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 Akeldama is influenced by everything beautiful, as it says in the Facebook page. What is beautiful to Akeldama?
Well, beauty, it's all around us. I don't know, in the metal world, people don't really seem to notice the beautiful in their writing and stuff. Everything is really focused on like negative, and so we're really trying to capture like the essence of beauty and bring it into the aggression. So it's like, you don't have to be evil to be powerful. I mean, we can take a beautiful sound and it sounds just as crushing as like any heavy band out there. So it's, that's
we also, the album that is going to be coming out is called Everything Beautiful, and we wanted to kind of just take everything that we consider beautiful, whether it be negative or positive, really, and kind of put it all into a story, and that's kind of what that album is.
What are some recurring subject matters in the band's songs?
Well, actually, our album is a concept album, so
it's a story.
I think love is a big thing with us.
Spirituality, Eastern spirituality, a lot of that.
The inner kind of person.
Yeah.
You want to say it like that,
Kind of odd for a metal band, and the fact that we write love songs. They're not really love songs, but
it's a love story as a whole.
Love story. And even like the old stuff, like Tempest and Motionless, those songs were kind of about how you should love people and how you should open up and stuff like that. That's kind of what we were going for.
What's the most ideal music that the band aim for? And how close do you say you're coming to attain that?
Like we're kind of, settling into where we want to sound. Our new album it's a lot. We go a lot of different places, but I feel like we keep it together with as much as we do. As pretty as we'll make it, we'll also make it heavy, and so it's that balance between the two is something that we really like.
A lot of our like materials heavily influenced by heavy progressive metal bands, and Meshuggah is one of these two, their favorite band in the world, and heavily influenced. We all love them, and as well as a lot of symphonic black metal. There's a little bit of symphonic influence in the keys that AJ produces, and stuff of that nature. So I feel like, to expand on him, we are settling into our sound very much, but the material that AJ has been writing as far as future material could aim to see a little bit of a heavier sound from us.
Okay. Yeah. What's the background of each of the musicians? What brought you together?
I think the four of us
went to school together.
Jeremy, Mikey, myself, and Eric went to school together, and we formed like a few high school bands that played at small bars and venues, and then we got Connor as our vocalist, and we played a few bigger shows like State Theater, some other places, and a little bit later, AJ here was talking about his side project that he's been working on, because he was in a band singing
we were in a
they both were in a band called Ovid's Withering, and AJ got a hold of us and was talking about this side project, and he's like, hey, let's meet up together and see if we can make this happen. And
gotcha.
So we just kind of
came into fruition.
Yeah, it's kind of like two groups kind of came together. Ovid's is still doing their own thing.
Yeah, I interviewed them before.
But, yeah.
What would you attribute the popularity of the band?
Popularity? Well, we get a lot of internet popularity. Like
Gotgent.com is a website that I really think gave us a lot of exposure. We'll see
The Euroblast Collective.
Yeah, we're a part of that, which is they have Phil Jarta and Monuments and all those bands, so we're a part of that, so that's helped a lot. And I run a page called Gentlemen's Club.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty popular too. So I'm able to, I can get in touch with fans or
social
new
media's
fans.
been really good to us.
Yeah.
I would say besides social media has been the main thing. I'd say a lot of it. Akeldama meets a lot of it. Kind of meets a soft spot with a lot of different people who like heavier music versus liking softer music. You can, a lot of people who love the really heavy hitting, Viltarta and Humanity's Last Breath and stuff like that. This new stuff that's coming out that's really, really heavy. A lot of those fans really like us as well. But some of the people who come from a background such as like AJ comes from a background where he's one of his heavy influences is Copeland, and I know a lot of people who don't primarily listen to metal have listened to our material and they like it a lot because it is a lot more melodic, has its soft parts, it's catchy. It's not so much of a niche project.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha, yeah. How would you say you sound live compared to the studio, and how do you guys translate that great lush studio sound into the
We try and make the two just exactly the same.
Yeah, we try to replicate the recording as much as possible.
Gotcha.
With all the, keys and stuff and the symphonics and stuff, that's all, backtracked. But as far as the instruments and what we play, we try and just aim for exactly as it sounds on.
We have like a million patches on our pods. So.
Yeah, we DI from Pod HD 500s for the guitars. We're using almost the exact same patch that we're currently using for our album right now.
Yeah, so
it's pretty damn close. So we just try to emulate it as closely as possible.
I guess the one big thing obviously would be like organic drums.
yeah.
Compared to we don't have the money to go into the studio and spend thousands of dollars for.
They're real.
They're real. But yeah.
Has the band ventured outside the state of Florida or even outside the United States?
We just got back from a tour with Scar Cemetery in Germany.
That's impressive.
So that was like unbelievable.
We got to play Euroblast, and that was just
insane,
incredible,
monumental. It was the biggest thing for all of us. It was
that
a great
whole tour was
experience.
just
Time of our lives.
incredible.
Right. Did it like you over there in Europe?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the response is
It was
so.
such a great response.
The response in Europe is far bigger than what we've received here.
I think our music appeals a little more.
It's kind of
the area here. I don't know. I feel like we haven't got a lot out of Florida, as much as the U.S. But as far as another country.
Yeah, India and Europe both. I feel like those are the people that want to see us play. We actually have people on Facebook from India like, we've come here. And
we have an India fan club now, so
that's great.
So we're hoping in the future that maybe will happen.
Either we
We're
get
also
the money or
hoping
we
to
get
get out.
signed and we'll go over there.
We're also hoping to get out into more of the United States once the time comes when we are able to afford.
That was the initial plan to tour the U.S., but then I get a call one day from one of our managers over in Europe. He's like, "Well, I got Scar Cemetery going on tour. You guys want to do that?" I was like, "What?"
So the last day of the tour, you're playing the headlining day of Europe's biggest metal festival.
What's currently in the works for Akeldama?
Full length.
The album. Yeah.
Finishing the album, then planning on possibly touring if we can afford it. Then from there, we've already got like almost a whole second album written. And
That's good.
Once we get this out, then we'll start working on that.
What are your thoughts on the current local rock and metal scene in the United States, Florida, or even?
Well, Florida, as far as like right here, the Tampa Bay area, I feel like it's the same thing it was like 5 or 6 years ago.
I wouldn't say
kind of
it's
stagnant.
I wouldn't say it's bad or good. I mean, it's
okay.
Same thing.
It goes through its waves, you know. Just as the local venues that we know and that we grew up in, the bands cycle through and the sound gets a little bit different. And there's young bands here and there and a couple good ones arise, and it all. I would say that the kind of music that we write, there's not a lot of it here. There was a really awesome band that AJ produced, Visionaries. That they were fantastic and they were around in the scene for a good while, and they just recently disbanded. I would say that Ovid's is the other another band that is very close in the progressive genre to what we're looking at. But I don't know many bands in the local scene.
There's a few diehard fans that you see like at a lot of shows, but there's just not enough of those. I mean, I guess there never really is enough of them, but
usually there's bands, and then there's the kids that come to see those bands, and then the bands funnel out, and those kids leave with them.
Yeah, I feel like most of the people here are in bands. Most of the time, it's just musicians.
I see.
We don't have like a big crowd ever, maybe at like the State Theater. If you get to play with a national act, then you see all the kids coming out. But other than that, there's really not much going on. As far as the rest of the U.S., hard to say.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, we'll hope.
We're going to find out.
Hopefully soon.
That's it for my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience?
Thank you. Thank you for the support. I can't wait to release the album. It's been
Keep checking back on the Facebook. And
we're so close.
The album will be soon, we promise.
We're working on it, as much as we possibly can. So
put everything.
Yeah, putting absolutely everything that we can into this album, and then album 2.
Yep. Album 2. Just pretty much
Everything into that.
Fast forward, we're weathering, we don't take a break,